Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Sotah, page 17, which discusses throughout this entire Gemara, it's been discussing the relationship of a husband and wife, and how we hope that even though she secluded herself with a man, that she will be found innocent, or she will drink this drink and potentially be punished because of it, or admit to her guilt. And because of this, we analyze the words of Ish and Isha. The Hebrew word Ish means man, and a woman is an Isha. Now, they sound very, very similar because we know that men and women have a lot of very similar characteristics. But contrary to what's going on in this day and age, in 2023, there is a clear distinction between a man and a woman, and we all know what that is. But even though it's true that a man and a woman, again, are similar, there are ways in which they are different. And we see this by the actual spellings of the words. You have the word Ish, which is spelled in Hebrew Aleph, Yud, Shin. And for a woman, Aleph, Shin, Hey. They have two similar letters, the letter Aleph and the letter Shin. The only difference between the two names is that a man has the letter Yud, and a woman in the word Isha has the letter Hey, which is interesting because if you put those two letters together, it combines to one of God's names. Yud and a Hey, Yah, is one of God's names, which means that when it comes to a marriage, it is a way that two people who have certain potential to be able to come close to God, when they unite and they have a healthy marriage, they're actually able to bring God into their lives. Marriage in Judaism is not something in which separates you from God. It's a way to be able to actually enhance and connect you more spiritually. And that's actually what we see from the two actual words of man and woman, that when they come together properly, then if they bring God into their lives, then that is the proper marriage. But unfortunately, sometimes they may go astray, like we're talking about with this Sotah, where he is unfaithful or she is unfaithful, and they remove godliness and spirituality out of their lives. What happens when you look at the word Ish and you remove the one letter which represents God, and woman, the Hey, the one letter which represents God? Both of them will have the same two letters left, which is Aleph, Shin. Aleph, Shin in Hebrew is Aish, fire, destructiveness. That if you do not have a healthy, and in this case, a spiritual connection, a proper emotional connection, and you remove God and you remove spirituality, and you remove that which God wants you to be, which is faithful and to be emotionally connected to your spouse, then you're left with fire. You're going to be left with a destructive relationship. And then the Talmud tells us something very interesting. If you look at the word for man, Ish, the letter which separates the Aleph and Shin, the fire, is God, which comes to tell us that you yourself could very well have the nature of being emotional and angry, which is the characteristic of what fire potentially is. You feel this burning anger or jealousy or hatred inside of you. So what you need to do is wedge spirituality, to put godliness in between that so that it breaks apart that potential feeling. And this is the important notion of the relationship that takes place between a man and a woman. Yes, we are the same, but we're also different. But together, we're able to bring spirituality into our marriage.